We are taking you into the news right now with the Fox 45 news feed. It's 11 a.m. The Ravens season comes to a disappointing end with the team's loss yesterday to the Chiefs, but it's not all over yet. Coming up, a look at Lamar's odds for getting MVP. Testimony continues today in the federal trial of former city state's attorney Marilyn Mosby. We're going to take a look at who is expected to take the stand today. And he is serving 115 years for murder, but could a new video confession set him free? We'll take a closer look at how it could impact the case in a story you're seeing first on Fox. Fox 45 News Midday starts now.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 News Midday.
Thanks for joining us for Fox 45 News Midday. I'm Patrice Sanders. We are taking a live look over at M&T Bank Stadium, where it was a disappointing end to the season for Ravens fans. The team falling Sunday to the Kansas City Chiefs. The final score, 17-10. Now, fans leaving the stadium defeated by and hurt by the team's painful loss, as you would imagine. But many are now looking forward to next year in a big comeback. We're going to have reaction from fans coming up. Right now, a major announcement about new legislation aimed at ending concentrated poverty in Maryland is getting underway. The governor, Mayor Brandon Scott, and Baltimore County Executive Johnny Olszewski are all on hand for this announcement. They are set to unveil the Enough Act. You're taking a live look at where that announcement will be made as soon as they take to the podium. Now, this new legislation calls for interventions in select communities aimed at identifying and addressing the root causes of poverty. The governor's proposed budget includes $15 million in funding for this project. We are going to stream the remarks live on our website, foxbaltimore.com, and of course, we'll have much more on Fox 45 News at 4. Just in, a big upgrade to Baltimore's Penn Station. Amtrak just holding a ribbon cutting to celebrate the station's new boarding platform. The new platform is part of a $100 million overhaul of the station. Turning now to the Mosby trial, testimony resumes today. This is new video of the former Baltimore City State's Attorney walking into court this morning. We are expecting her ex-husband, City Council President Nick Mosby, to once again take the stand. When he testified last Thursday, Mosby became emotional, saying it was him that kept a tax lien from his then wife. He says it was his mishandling of the situation that put her in federal court. For our full coverage of the Mosby trial and the latest developments from court, head to foxbaltimore.com. A man serving a 115-year sentence for murder is sharing his side of the story after 13 years behind bars. He's hoping a viral video confession could finally set him free. Olivia Dance is bringing us a story that you're seeing first on Fox.
Sterling Matthews is only 13 years into his 115-year sentence, but according to Baltimore County Police, the investigation may now be headed in a different direction after a video confession by Antonio Hart, who was killed during a police standoff. Take a listen to that confession.
I had that Glock 17 and that 25 caliber that night that killed Daquan. I did that 2010 Halloween, pen raising mask. Boy, Sterling ain't do that. I love you, woo baby, but he ain't do that. Big Rambo did that.
According to police, Sterling Matthews is the alleged shooter and killer of 16-year-old Daquan Burks. Matthews' first trial ended in a hung jury, and the second trial ended with a guilty verdict. Now Matthews' mother, Tanika Brogdon, is speaking out for the first time. She says the past 13 years, while her son has been in jail, have been a nightmare, and she's walking us through the events on the day of the murder.
We went to Halloween party, then we went trick-or-treating in the neighborhood, came back home. It was dark time. I mean, a regular night.
And Sterling was with you?
Yes.
So when you got home that night, do you remember Sterling leaving, or?
No.
He never left the house?
No.
When you heard the word guilty, what was your emotion?
Like somebody reached inside my body and snatched my soul.
Of course, now she's hoping that part of her soul will be back home again soon. Matthews is scheduled for a post-conviction hearing challenging his conviction in March, and his original attorney is hoping that the video confession will lead to a new trial. I'm Olivia Dance reporting, Fox 45 News, Midday.
Well, looking ahead this afternoon at City Hall, the mayor will swear in new city solicitor Ebony Thompson. She was confirmed last week. The mayor will also swear in a number of new appointees to city boards and commissions.
Just weren't able to, we had a couple opportunities to score down there. We didn't get the touchdowns. I mean, it was really a defensive struggle if you step back and look at the whole game. And they were able to score the points, and we weren't.
And the job's not done. I mean, our job now is to prepare ourselves to play a good football team in the Super Bowl and try to get that ring.
The Ravens season comes to an end, the team losing to the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. But win or lose, as Taylor Stewart shows us, the flock was buzzing with excitement and support for the Ravens.
The flock is still standing behind their team and their man after an incredible season, but a devastating loss just last night. Let's take a look at some of the tweets that are coming into our newsroom. So you can see the reaction really came in around the emotion. You can see Lamar Jackson here getting comforted by Odell Beckham as they began to really see the end of this game. 1 minute on the clock here. But a lot of folks were talking about the defense. They did the job, but the offense did not carry through. And that's what the fans had to say at the end of last night's game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm disappointed in our boys. That's rough. Like, I know they put everything they could. Offense didn't show up. Defense didn't show up.
The offense couldn't get it going. A couple of key turnovers. It just couldn't happen, and you can't count Pat Mahomes out.
We also talked to fans who were watching the game in Fells Point. Many of them also disappointed, but not everyone. Take a listen.
I think the loss for Baltimore will give a we will rejuvenate us,
yeah.
And we're ready for next year. Awesome. We're ready for next year. We have done a great job this year, and Lamar is excellent. And I can't wait for the next season.
And that's exactly where we are. We're looking ahead to next season. The mayor's tweeting, "It hurts, but we'll be back. We're still proud of our team." The governor also saying, "I love this team. I love this city. Congrats to the Chiefs, but we'll be back." And fans even letting folks know this is nothing to hang your heads about. Great season. We'll continue to follow them through the postseason and the next season. Taylor Stewart, Fox 45 News.
Well, the Ravens are now preparing for their next season as the world is getting ready for Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas. The San Francisco 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs will play Sunday, February 11th at Allegiant Stadium in Vegas. Well, still ahead, we are talking about the dirty little secrets that couples keep from one another, how financial infidelity is becoming a bigger problem. And deepfake videos now turning explicit. The new calls for regulation after singer Taylor Swift was targeted. And new safety measures are being put in place after a young hockey player suffered a fatal injury on the ice. The new rules for teen players coming up.
Breezy to windy conditions for the afternoon. Temperatures going to feel colder with that wind, and mild temperatures overall a little bit later this week as we get closer to February. So 48 your high today, back down to the mid-30s tonight, and then we'll be into the mid-40s, a little cooler on Tuesday with less wind. We'll break it down for you coming up in your full forecast in just a few.
11:10 now, and taking a look at your social stream. New rules from USA Hockey requiring all players under 18 to now wear neck guards. It is the latest development following the death of former Penguins player Adam Johnson, who died after taking an ice skate to the neck during a game in England 3 months ago. Now, the English Ice Hockey Association has since announced mandatory neck guards for all players in England. The new rules for the U.S. will take effect August 1st. And while players older than 18 at adult levels will not be required to wear the protection, USA Hockey is strongly encouraging all players to do so. Reaction to this, one person just saying simply overdue. Another one saying don't stop at under 18 players, make it mandatory for adults 18 plus as well. More than 20 years after the death of famed DJ Jam Master Jay, the two men accused of his murder are set to start their trial today. 59-year-old Ronald Washington and 40-year-old Carl Jordan Jr. are set to appear for opening statements in Brooklyn federal court. Prosecutors say witnesses identified both suspects as the killers. Both men have pleaded not guilty. One person saying it's good to hear that progress is being made and that the two men are finally going on trial for the killing of Run DMC star Jam Master Jay. Another saying about time. Well, there are new calls for regulation after fake explicit images of Taylor Swift flood the internet. The deep fakes were created using artificial intelligence. Social media platform X removed the photos, but not before they were viewed tens of millions of times. Those photos, though, still likely circulating on less regulated platforms. Concerns are growing about AI-generated images and videos being used in this year's presidential election to disrupt the vote. Reaction this morning. This is only the beginning of the issues with AI. It is going to be a bumpy ride through the next decade of development. Another person saying, if they can do that to Taylor Swift, then imagine what they would do to an average person with far less pull. I think the AI issue and social media's failure to self-regulate will force the government to overhaul social media and regulate it themselves. We're still ahead. Tax season is here. Coming up, how long you have to file. But first, a teenage murder suspect is back in custody after escaping in Philly, where police tracked him down. And coming up later today at noon, it's Karamo. Then at 1, it's Sherry, followed by Hot Bench at 2. Your time now, 11:12 on Fox 45 News Midday. We are back with a live look over the Inner Harbor, M&T Bank Stadium. A chilly start to the work week. Things will get even colder by the weekend. Coming up, when the cool down starts and just how far the temperature will drop. Well, developing now at the Live Center, President Joe Biden says the U.S. will respond after a drone strike killed 3 American soldiers near the Jordan-Syria border. Officials say dozens of other U.S. service members were injured in the attack on Sunday, including some who required evacuation.
We lost 3 brave souls in an attack on one of our bases.
This is the first time U.S. troops have died at enemy hands in the region since the war in Gaza started. Officials say militants appear to have launched the attack from Syria, but that is not the country that's getting the blame.
We've been attacked more than 100 times across the Middle East in recent months, and we know it's coming from Iran.
Iran has denied that it played any part in the deadly attack on the U.S. base in Jordan. Happening today, it is the start of the 2024 tax filing season. Today is the first day you can send off your tax forms and your payments. Taxpayers have until Monday, April 15th to finish their filings without penalty if they owe taxes. The IRS is expecting about 128.7 million returns this year. A hearing is set for today in Alex Murdaugh's request for a retrial on the double murder charges against him. Murdaugh is convicted of the 2021 killings of his wife and younger son. The hearing is supposed to determine whether the local court clerk influenced the jury in that case, like Murdaugh's legal team has accused her of doing. The clerk has denied the accusations. Murdaugh is serving 2 life sentences in the deaths of his family members. Making headlines, Philadelphia police say an escaped teen murder suspect is now back in custody. 17-year-old Shane Pryor was captured Sunday by U.S. Marshals while boarding a public transit bus. Pryor was on the run for several days after escaping Wednesday morning during a trip to a children's hospital to be treated for a hand injury. He has been in custody since 14 years old, awaiting trial. Pryor was charged with murder, conspiracy, and firearm crimes in a 2020 killing. The biotech company 23andMe is facing a class action lawsuit. The suit accuses the genetic testing company of failing to notify customers whose personal information was collected into lists that were then sold on the dark web. The suit also accuses 23andMe of failing to protect customers of Chinese and Jewish heritage, which were apparently specifically targeted. Coming up later today on Fox 45 News at 4, we are inside the courtroom tracking the Marilyn Mosby fraud trial, the latest testimony, and what comes next. You can get Fox 45 News in a flash through your Amazon Alexa or Echo. We now deliver your local headlines and forecasts in less than 2 minutes. If you have an Amazon device, tell it to enable Fox 45 Baltimore. 11:17 in time now for today's Talking. Mark Clark with Be More Lifestyle is here now. And let me just say, is there room for, so I'm not a Swiftie, but I'm not a Taylor Swift hater either. I'm girl power. You have built this brand, you have built this empire. I'm all for that. Does that much emphasis have to be placed on her in the football games, though?
Well, I mean, I think, again, even if it's not placed on it, those numbers always speak to it. I thought it was interesting watching the game. They didn't show her early, right? They didn't show her. I was like at home like, oh, maybe she's not in town.
Oh,
and
I had already seen the things of her coming
before,
to it.
Okay,
yeah,
so then when they scored the touchdown, I think that was the first time they showed her during the game, which was kind of brilliant because it made you know, for the people who were just waiting to see her,
right.
It kind of it suspended that.
Yeah.
And so, you know, maybe that's what we need. We need to get, maybe Lamar need to date I don't know who.
But would anybody else get the same coverage that she? I mean, Simone Biles is dating somebody in the NFL.
Yeah, no, that's not.
I don't know. Back in her scandal heyday, Kerry Washington, wasn't she dating somebody in the NFL? I never saw her at the stadium.
Right. Unless it's beyond. You're right. I guess.
I wonder if it would even be if Jay-Z was playing for the Ravens. Would we?
Can he throw? Can Jay-Z? Somebody get him on the line. Can a 51-year-old rapper throw?
I don't even know if Beyonce. So I don't know. But the NFL, if they're in it for the money, they're
hey, you know what?
Money.
Cardi B is free, right? Didn't she get a divorce? Maybe we need to get one of the linemen with Cardi. No?
Okay, I'm not endorsing any of that. I'm just saying. All right, we're going to move on.
Queen and Cardi. No?
We're going to move on.
Okay.
Let's see if that gets covered. It's time now for your wild and wonderful weather. We went off on a tangent there. Meteorologist Justin Chambers with a look at snow in Iceland.
Well, if you like snow, you can go to Reykjavik, Iceland. That's what it looks like there. I know, and just a couple of weeks ago, we had a shot like this here, but not the case anymore, friends. All that snow is melted away, and we have the wind that is going to continue to help dry us out, especially from all of the rain and the mist and the fog we had over the weekend. We're going to see those temperatures climb to the mid to upper 40s, so about 4 or 5 degrees above average for this time of year. Typically, lower 40s is where we are. However, it's not going to feel that way because that wind is going to make it feel even colder. So temperatures slightly above average, sun up until 5:23. Should see some more pockets of sunshine through the later part of the day today. And high temps across Carroll and Baltimore counties in the low to mid 40s, even some upper 40s for Baltimore and Dundalk. 44-year high today in Eldersburg, Reisterstown right about 43. Howard and Anne Arundel counties also in the mid 40s for Ellicott City and Elkridge, down through Glen Burnie and Pasadena, and 46 in Odenton this afternoon. And numbers up and down the 95 corridor, about 47 in the district this afternoon, with low to mid 40s for New York and Philly, almost 50 in Richmond, one of the warmer spots. Now, here's a look at our temperature tracker. Notice as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday, numbers a little bit closer, or even slightly below average, but then we pop up into the lower 50s on Thursday and Friday, so that'll be a nice little mild stretch of weather. Our future scan, again, a few clouds out there today with the wind that will be with us. A lot less wind on Tuesday. Heading toward Wednesday, there is another weather maker coming through, but it's really just going to increase our cloud cover and not really much in the way of actual moisture. Earlier this week, we did look at that and thought maybe we'd have some rain and snow, but it's not looking to be likely at this time. So here's that 10-day forecast. Still a few showers will be possible on Wednesday. Probably be able to take that out as we get more of those model runs in. Back to the 50s Thursday and Friday. Then it's colder for the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, but we do stay dry.
All right, Justin, thank you. Still ahead, the jackpots are growing. Not one, but 2 big chances to win this week. Just how much money is up for grabs? And when you think skyscrapers, you might think New York or LA or Chicago. What about Oklahoma City? Coming up, how that city is lobbying to become home to the tallest building in the U.S. 11:22 now on Fox 45 News Midday. 11:25, don't miss this. Developers are proposing building the tallest skyscraper in the U.S. in Oklahoma City. They're seeking permission from city government to increase the height of what's being called Legends Tower to 1,907 feet. Now, that new height refers to 1907, the year Oklahoma became a state. The developers say if approved, it will beat out New York's One Trade Center to become the tallest building in the U.S. It will also be one of the tallest buildings in the world. Gas prices are starting to creep up again, but we're still doing better than we were last year. AAA says the average cost of a gallon of gas today is $3.11. That is up 3 cents from last week's starting point, but it's down a penny from a month ago. And $3.11 is still 40 cents lower than the average cost of gas on this day last year. Time now for your lunch break. You may want to go grab a lottery ticket. Jackpots for the Powerball and Mega Millions are soaring. The jackpot for tonight's Powerball drawing is an estimated $174 million. Whoever wins could also take home the cash option of nearly $84 million. Tomorrow night's drawing of the Mega Millions is a massive $311 million. The winner can choose to take home $147 million in cash. Last month, a lucky winner in Florida claimed the record-breaking $1.6 billion Mega Millions jackpot from August. Whew. That's all we have for Fox 45 News Midday. Be More Lifestyle is up next. Mark Clark back to tell us what they're working on.
Well, Patrice, they were besties and now they have bad blood. A bridesmaid says she's skipping her best friend's wedding so she can go to a Taylor Swift concert. And that's not the worst part. Coming up, we'll chat about the even bigger secret she's been keeping. I hope it's not what I think it is. Stick around. Be More Lifestyle next.
You're watching Fox 45 in Baltimore. Now live from TV Hill, this is Be More Lifestyle.
And what's up, Baltimore? I'm Mark Clark, and this is Be More Lifestyle live from Studio A at Fox Baltimore. Lady T is here, along with Baltimore native and founder of Ebo, Crystal Berger, in the house. Ladies, let me tell you right now. Woo! Despite the disappointing of Sunday's loss, disappointment, Ravens fans still have one thing to look forward to before this football season ends. The face of the flock, quarterback Lamar Jackson, is widely considered to be the favorite to be named the NFL's most valuable player. Jackson's MVP-level season was encapsulated in this play during Sunday's AFC Championship game loss to the Chiefs, where his pass was tipped high in the air. Jackson, however, was able to beat the Chief defender to the ball, completing a pass to himself for a 13-yard gain. The winner for that and every other NFL award will be announced at the 13th annual NFL Honors Award show ahead of Super Bowl 58 on the 8th. It was a heck of a play, but not enough. Oh, Lord, the pain.
Oh, God.
Crystal, we were...
What a recap.
I was going to say, were we even close? Not really.
I think we were. I think that they just played a little nervous, and the great thing about Lamar is he's young. He'll be back in this place again, and hopefully next year he'll bring it home.
Good job, Crystal. Thank you. Giving us a little hope.
Come on, because
that's right.
We do bad with our heroes. He is definitely a dope young man. He has the energy, the vibe, and the leadership.
This is why. This is why. Lady
Big
T,
facts. Look,
how was your household? Was it crazy?
It was, we were very calm, okay? Because you know what? I was waiting to see where Taylor Swift was. That's really what I was trying to say. I was waiting to see. I was like, did she get there? I was like, she's late. Where is she?
No, that's true. They didn't show it until after the first touchdown. You're right.
And I was like, where's my girl
I was sitting there
at?
too, like, she ain't here.
But
she ain't here yet.
She ain't there yet. But you know what? It was great energy in the city. Baltimore needed something to celebrate, so I was so happy. Thank you. And it's Sailor Marvelous. So we're gonna do great.
No
we're gonna be
losses.
back next season, okay?
No losses, just lessons. Okay, we want you to tell it. Will Lamar Jackson get MVP? Vote now on our website, foxbaltimore.com/vote. When you get to the website, make sure you click on the lifestyle tab. You can also vote on our Fox 45 News app. At the end of the show, we'll see what everybody thinks. Now, of course, a lot of people are excited at the idea of Taylor Swift being at the Super Bowl, but listen to this. A woman is taking heat after revealing she's skipping her best friend's wedding to go to a Taylor Swift concert instead. To make matters worse, the woman who was supposed to be a bridesmaid has apparently been keeping it a secret from the bride because she was afraid of how she'd react. Woo!
Well, it ain't a secret anymore. The world knows now. Well, we didn't say her name, so she's good.
Well,
she's fine.
How would you feel about this?
I mean, that's just not a friend, right? Because it's about
she got all
priorities.
proper on it.
I know. It's not a friend.
No.
I mean, because think about it. Like you said, is it a Swiftie or a bestie?
What is
right?
it?
I mean, and it's really a Swiftie. I don't think you choose your convenience or the thing that you rave about over the people you love.
Crystal, once again, you're not a friend.
You're not.
Friend. She got serious on that.
That's more of an acquaintance.
Friend. Lady T, what would you do? It's your day.
I don't know.
Your girl, Crystal, call you like, hey, girl, I ain't gonna be there.
I don't know, because I feel like a Taylor Swift ticket costs just as much as a bridesmaid dress. So I feel like,
goodness.
I feel like a decision was made.
The deceit. The deceit, Lady T.
I can't really fault her, because how was the concert, sis? I kind of want to know.
Okay,
and
that's
can you send
enough.
me footage or no?
Wow,
okay,
Lady T,
never
you
mind.
guys are Crystal, voice of reason. Lady T is.
What about when
we
she's
out
no
here.
longer relevant? Then your friend is
See,
gone.
all those years.
See, so she's going down in history, so she's probably always going to be relevant.
No secret.
She's probably always going to be.
Okay, let's move on. No secret, according to a new
agree.
survey, 42% of adults have committed some form of financial infidelity against their spouse or partner.
Oh, wow.
That includes things like having a secret credit card or spending more cash than a partner would be okay with.
Okay, Mark, this
recently,
is you.
No, this recently came up in a casual conversation. I was talking, my daughters were around, and my wife, and I said, yeah, my friend needed to borrow some money when I was on the Big Fat Morning Show. Marvin said, friend? You mean so-and-so used to kick it with?
Oh.
Bum, bum, bum.
And it all went downhill from there. And I assume
it was a childhood friend who we happened to kick it, and she did hit me up back when I was balling.
Oh, gee.
But, oh, well. So,
yeah.
Crystal, has this happened to you? Secrets?
Well, no, because I'm going to spend his money. And at the end of the day,
Agreed.
he's going to know that.
It sounds like you two.
I think we're going to agree on this one, lady.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Wow.
And I think a lot of men come from that old school frame of thought that, if I'm the provider, I head the household, then that's your money is your money.
Oh, wow. Well, that is definitely not where I come from.
Yeah.
And I am not the provider. So anyway, Lady T, your thoughts.
Well, this is what our mamas taught us. They said, they was like, our man don't need to know everything, okay? You put a little money to the side every little bit of time.
Yeah.
This is why we was hiding shopping bags with our parents, so with our moms. We know. She said, hide it in the car until dad comes home, and we strategically bring it out.
Okay, Lady T, you giving up too much.
Oh, sorry about that.
All right, so look, okay, we're going to see you later in the show. Right. See you later in the show, Lady T and Crystal. Still ahead, we're answering simple science questions that kids might have. We'll take you behind the scenes of Baltimore's Science Guys. But first, a simple solution to a common problem: how to keep track of your phone and keys with one simple device. Oh, it's Monday. It's a great show. Stick around.
You're watching Be More Lifestyle.
Genevieve Gorder from America's Steals and Deals is here to share details about a popular product that will make sure you never waste time looking for your keys or phone again.
The following segment is sponsored by Knocking.
You guys, what are two things you lose the most? It's your keys and it's your phone. And it's so frustrating. I know this because I spend hours every day looking for these items. So listen up. You don't want to miss this buy one, get one exclusive deal on the Key Smart Pro. Now, the Key Smart Pro organizes up to 14 keys in one little device. Literally every guy on the set has one in his pocket right now. And as we were setting up this display, people were actually trying to take them. So my advice is buy this now for everyone you love because they're not gonna last. It takes all those keys in the drawer, the bottom of your purse, and puts them right into one little thing, and it connects to a free app. So if you lose your keys, you press the button on the app. You lose your phone, you press the button on the keychain. Even if your phone is on silent, you can find it. It's a win-win. They find each other, guys. You know how many hours this saves us? For me, like probably 6 hours a day. I bet you have someone in your life that needs one of these. My family literally impersonates me by putting on a pair of sunglasses and saying, "Where's my phone? Where's my keys?" And now with this buy one, get one free deal, it's a perfect time to get one for you, someone you love, in all of these great colors. Remember, this is a buy one, get one free. Do not wait. Go to asadeals.com.
This Be More Lifestyle segment is sponsored by the Science Guys of Baltimore.
I'm with Mr. Bond from the Science Guys. So what do we have here?
So today we're going to be learning about acids and bases, how to tell them apart and why it matters. Well,
I love it.
We need to know the difference between cold and hot, right, to keep us safe. And the same is true with acids and bases. We need to know the difference to keep us safe in a lab. Now, you might already be able to tell the difference between an acid or a base. Have you ever had a sour candy or eaten a lemon?
I have.
That sour taste is the taste of an acid.
Okay.
And if you've ever played with soap or had bubbles in your hands, that slippery feeling is the feeling of a base. But we can't always use those things when we're in a lab, right? We can't just be be licking chemicals we don't know what they are, right?
No, we cannot.
So we have the pH scale, and that's what I have with us today. And we're going to make a pH indicator out of something that you might have in your house with you at home today. This is a red cabbage, and it has all of the secrets of the pH inside. And I got this really pretty cabbage juice that we have in front of us here. And what's cool is when you add it to water, it stays the same color. Okay, so it's not that cool, but it is cool when you start to add it to different items. Here's some vinegar. Let's see what color it turns when we add some of that into the vinegar.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, so you get a different color. As it turns towards the warm end of the color spectrum, you start to get things that are acids. As it gets stronger and stronger, they get a little bit dangerous, so you don't want to touch them. And as we go towards the base end of the spectrum, we get these other cool colors, really pretty to look at. And you guys could do this at home, but I definitely recommend doing it with your parents because you don't want to just grab any bottle and start testing things. So what's really great is the way they work together. When we put vinegar together with baking soda, you know what happens?
No.
Little bubbles.
Oh, okay.
Right? So when we put vinegar together with baking soda, we get a little bit of bubbles, but what's really cool is we can turn it right back to that original cabbage color. Now, we're going to do one more really fun experiment with acids and bases. We're going to take some of this baking soda and we're going to wrap it up in our toilet paper here. All right, and let's go ahead and pour a little bit of vinegar in the bottom of our canisters. Here's a little bit of vinegar for you.
Thank you, sir.
A little vinegar for me. And we're gonna go ahead and throw that in there and try to put these tops on as quick as humanly possible. Let's see if we can do it. All right, here we go. All right, mine's, having some trouble with mine. Oh, I'm already exploding. Oh, hey, there we go. Oh. Nice one. So we put acid together with a base. It made some gas. It gave us some energy to make our explosion.
So tell us about some of the programs you offer.
Sure. We come into schools. We do hands-on science with your kids, hands-on workshops. That means we're going to be coming in and expanding on all of your STEM curriculum that you already have and making it really hands-on, just like what you see here today. We do big assembly shows as well as summer camps and after-school clubs and birthday parties. So lots of ways to find us.
A lot of fun stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
So where can our viewers go to find out more information?
So you can check us out anywhere online. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and our website, of course, scienceguysofbaltimore.com.
Awesome. Still ahead, honoring our loved ones, how you can help honor their memory in a more personal way. But first, I'm going to sit down with two dynamic entrepreneurs who are making a splash in media.
This is Be More Lifestyle.
I'm now going to introduce you to two powerhouses shaking up the media game. Baltimore native Crystal Iberger brings her expertise as a former Fox News senior booking producer and national feature host, and now the founder of EBO, an AI-powered talent vetting and booking solution. Alongside her today is Angel Livas. Livas formerly head at radio at AARP, launching shows for Larry King and Jane Pauley, now the mastermind behind a live podcast network, an unparalleled platform for Black creatives to monetize and amplify their voices. All right, the ladies are here. Both Forbes featured innovators are igniting the media scenes and joining us on the couch. Crystal, Angel, welcome. How's it going?
Awesome.
Oh, you guys got it going on. Wait, I had to read for real today. So, Crystal, what sparked the idea for EBO's tech and media vetting and booking? And explain vetting and booking briefly.
For sure. So essentially, vetting is when you make sure someone is qualified to go on air, they're media ready. And then booking is just booking, right? Getting that guest on
Just
air.
like that.
Essentially, I was in a newsroom as a senior producer. News broke one day. I went to the restroom, God forbid. Came back 3 minutes later, and my assignment editor was like, "Where did you go, Crystal? We need a guest for anchor coverage." And I literally realized in that second, these people can't book a guest without me physically being in the seat. So I decided to automate those processes when we went remote for the pandemic.
I love it. And Crystal, we've been friends a long time. You're amazing. And again, you are too. Angel, what inspired the Lives Revenue Sharing Podcast Network for Black creators?
So first off, thanks for having me.
Definitely.
For me, it was really all about making sure that Black creators had an opportunity to monetize their content. A lot of times, Black content isn't generating the same amount of revenue as their white counterparts. And so what naturally fit was, okay, well, after working in radio for so long, you think of like talk radio. And it's like listener supported. Why can't we have a listener supported model for Blacks in the podcasting space? So that was kind of like the genesis behind how it all came about.
And then how did collaboration between you guys come about? And what do you see the the landscape? Because again, we got two powerhouses, really, we really do. How did it come about?
So both Crystal and I had been working in the media space for like over 2 decades. And we had a mutual friend that had connected us years ago. And she knew that I had turned media tech from being a media exec, and was like asking questions, things like that. And she was like, "I'm gonna build this thing, but I don't really know where to start, what we're about to do." But she's like blasted off with like everything that they're doing. But we've been able to come together and interface EBO in a Lives hosting portal so that our hosts have that vetting and booking that's easily accessible for them.
That
which
is
most podcast networks don't have.
Right. That is such that's a perfect combination of a perfect coming together. And so any advice for any young executives, any young African-American executive, women in general? I mean, because I know people are watching like, how'd they do that?
I mean, I would say, first off, know that you're extremely valuable in your role. A lot of times we do work and we just think that it's work, not understanding that your work could become an innovation, and you don't have to be technical to be a founder. That's what I learned from myself. I don't know about you, Angel.
I always tell people, start from where you are. Don't think that you have to have all of the pieces in alignment and ready to go. And being a startup founder is very different than starting a business, in my opinion. It's very different than having an LLC and starting a business and all of that. Like, you have the opportunity to get investors. You have the opportunity to really build like these powerful collaborations, give out shares. It's just different.
Well, we're going to wrap it up here, guys. You have to come back. And again, I'm trying to figure out how you guys have been in the game for over 2 decades, and you look only 23. How did you do that? Okay. All right, let's go ahead and check the weather, the wild and wonderful weather right now.
Well, if you like blue skies and mild temperatures, head to Denver, Colorado. Look at that. The first time they've seen 60-degree weather there since a long time ago. Looks like December 19th, basically. But a really pretty shot there from the Rocky Mountains, and you can see the snow in the distance there as the Front Range rises to the west of the Mile High City. Our temperatures today are going to feel a little bit colder, especially with the breezy to windy conditions for the afternoon. We do have mild temperatures on the way as we head later into the week, and I'll show you that here in just a few moments. Our hour-by-hour forecast, mid to upper 40s here through the day today. 43 is typically where we are, so we're still going to be above average, but we'll see breezy to windy conditions. That wind out of the northwest about 15 to 25 miles an hour. Lower 40s for Westminster and Bel Air up into Elkton today. Mid 40s Chestertown down through Stevensville. Right about 46 across the Bay Bridge into Annapolis, and upper 40s in Baltimore. And you can see those numbers up and down the 95 corridor. We're seeing those 40s here for New York and Philly down through Baltimore and D.C., but only about 40 in Cumberland, obviously west western Maryland, still on the colder side. Our temps will take a little bit of a dip on Tuesday and Wednesday, but we actually get a nice little bump into Thursday and Friday, back to the lower 50s. So that's to kick off the month of February. Here's a look at our future scan. Clouds and sun mix with the wind today. Wind will die down late this afternoon into the evening time. Less wind Tuesday. Tuesday, a pretty nice day to get whatever you want done outside. And even on Wednesday, there's another system coming through that'll bring some cloud cover, maybe a stray shower or two, but it's not looking very likely that we'll actually see those rain showers or snow showers for that matter. We stay dry on Thursday as well. Then another cold front will come through Thursday night, and behind that drops our temperatures for the weekend. So here's a look at that exclusive 10-day forecast. Upper 40s today, those mid 40s through Tuesday and Wednesday, then lower 50s as we approach the weekend before we cool back off, and we'll keep those 40s going into early next week.
This Be More Lifestyle segment is sponsored by Shimunek Funeral Homes.
Funeral services have evolved, especially in the last 80 years, and they continue to evolve. Here to talk about the dynamic field is John Evans, General Manager of Shimunek Funeral Home. John, how are you?
I'm doing well, and thank you for having me.
Definitely. Can you tell us about Shimunek?
Shimunek Funeral Home has been proudly serving families in Maryland for more than 80 years, and we strive to make a difference in lives with comforting and caring hearts and providing direction at a time when it's truly needed.
And so, John, as somebody who's dedicated your life to this profession, what are some of the biggest changes you've seen?
Probably the biggest change is in the service itself. Many families today don't want the traditional service. They want something more customized, personal, and that's what we do. We help to create a personalized service to help tell their life story and really create an uplifting service.
And, you know, John, I've been through this process, and so you've been in the funeral and cremation business for many years. What made you join Shimunek?
I find our services are unparalleled. We have a very dedicated, caring staff that, as I say, they really look to structure a service that's individualized for each person, and I'm really blessed to be on a team like that.
I've discovered many people aren't comfortable discussing their final arrangements. They don't even want to talk about it. Can you give us some tips of, you know, for designing the final farewell that best pays tribute to the life? Because it is important. It's really difficult to think about sometimes.
Absolutely, and it starts by having the conversation. You know, we've all talked with family and friends to say, well, when I go, I want a big party, or I don't want people looking at me. But it's more, you have to put those thoughts into a plan and let people know and get something concrete so that they know how to carry it out.
And so, John, how do you go about pre-planning? How does that process start?
Well, the best way is to reach out to our funeral home, speak to one of our funeral directors who's trained and seasoned in working with people in advance, and they'll take you down the steps of the information that we need to gather, but more importantly, getting your wishes known. They'll get to know you and help you create a service that's unique for you.
And, you know, again, it's not, you don't like to think about it, but having it all laid out, it makes it so much easier for everybody involved. And so if somebody's watching right now and they want to start the process, where should they go?
Well, call Shimunek Funeral Home. You can call us at our Perry Hall office at 410-256-3600, or in Bel Air, 410-638-5360, or reach out to us on our website at www.shimunekfuneralhomes.com. From there, you can download a planning guide, or you can start the process of getting your thoughts together, and then when you bring that to us, we help you put that into a plan.
Well, John, thanks for joining us. This powerful information is so valuable. Thanks much.
Thank you.
Still ahead, big talk about Lamar Jackson and if he'll win the MVP. We'll see what you're saying about it and his chances coming up.